Okay, next part of the job is we need to take the centerpiece off. Take these off like that. And what normally happens is when these are actually fixed to the T-bar, not only are they screwed, but they're stuck from underneath. I found this when I did my last conversion, my last Kitt project. Taking this off was a little bit of a bugger because it was stuck to the actual T-bar roof. So I don't know what this one's going to be like. Hopefully it's not too much work and it will come off fairly easily, but we'll find out in just a second. So these screws come off fairly easily, although I'm sure they've been in for a number of years. Now this is completely live, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to come off very easily at all. I could be here for a couple of hours trying to get this off, because you obviously don't want to damage the roof too much. So the only option you really have is to use screwdrivers and just kind of prise it up. So this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, it's quite sort of solid on there, unfortunately. There isn't really an easy way. Oh, okay, well, there you go, look. Well, look at that, would you believe it? Whoa, wow. Okay, look at that, not bad. Oh, it's a spider. Got a spider. Well, look at that. Not bad, is it? That certainly came off a lot easier than I thought it would. So that is still usable. The only thing I don't have is the little section that goes through there, which is like that. So that has obviously been taken off, or maybe, yeah, you can see there, look, there's a couple of rivets. So there's normally a little bit of a flat piece that goes over the top. Obviously when you put the T-bar glass in either side, it normally goes under that little lip like that. That's what normally happens. But look at that. Yeah, not a bad start, is it, hey? Not a bad start at all. So you can see where it's more than likely been stuck either end. It's probably just been stuck there and there. Hasn't really been stuck in the middle from what I can see. So we'll lay that down there for now. So that isn't actually too bad. Do you know what? I thought it was going to be a lot worse than this. Because my last one, on my last Kitt project that I did, if you've seen any of the videos, when it got to taking the centerpiece out so I could spray the whole T-bar, that was a real bugger. It took me a while to get that off. I had to kind of get screwdrivers underneath it and kind of lever it up. It took me quite a while to do it. But anyway, moving on. So what we got here, so this is just a piece of material. Yeah, it's just kind of like a piece of foam. Yeah, so that's not a problem. What we got there is the same that end. Yeah, not bad, not bad. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Just clean up these little edges here. Now all this black stuff is from the rubbers. So when this was obviously used as a T-bar, it obviously had seals and rubbers and everything in there for where the glass sits onto. And all this is the leftover after someone's taken all the rubbers out. This is just all the leftover rubber and the seals that have probably been in there for donkey's years. So it's not actually too bad. Now I can obviously do this off camera. I'm not gonna spend 2 hours giving this all a clean up. I can do that some other time. but it's not bad. Quite happy with that. So the next job to do is I'm going to go round and clean up all of these sections here. You know, I'm going to get rid of all of the rubber that's stuck underneath there. I'm going to get rid of all of that, give it all a good clean up, so that when it goes into the workshop, there's less for them to do. There's less prep work for them to do, so it won't take them quite as long. Although I'm paying them good money to obviously spray the car, if there's anything I can do here which will make life a little bit easier for them, I'm going to do it. You know, as long as it doesn't take me days to do, because as I said, I'm paying them good money. There's a couple of bits there which has been damaged, unfortunately. There's a little bit there as well at the back there. So these are obviously important, these little bits here. Yeah, when you end up spraying the car and this is all nice gloss black, these will stick out. If they're not level and they're not all, you know, perfectly flat across there, it will look really bad even when it's all sprayed black. So I'm going to have to get the workshop to obviously fix those little bits. But yeah, they're just a little bit out of shape. They just need a little bit of work, and I'm sure they'll be good. What we need to do here is take all of this part off. So where he has dismantled the car and removed the windscreen, some of the glass is still left in place, which, you know, it can't be helped. It's not a problem. It just means I need to spend a little bit of time coming down here and trying to remove part of the rubber, part of the seal which is around the roof of the car. So the best way that I've found, so I've done all of this bit down here and all around this side, is use a screwdriver to just loosen it up a little bit like that. Obviously being careful, you don't want to do too much damage if possible, because all of this is obviously going to be, this is all going to get prepared and sprayed, so I want to minimize the damage that I do to the actual steel, yeah, to the actual roof. And this is more than likely been on here since factory, so since 1991 I would imagine, unless it's had a new windscreen. Well, yeah, it may have had a new windscreen, but the actual seal itself, the window strip, I would imagine has been in since, as I just said, since the car was made, which is 91. So how are we doing here? A little bit fiddly. So jobs like this, you just need to be a little bit patient. Now, of course, I'm not going to show you the entire video because this has taken me a good, I would say, a good hour. So I'm sure you don't want to see the entire hour-long video of me taking off a bit of seal around a window frame, because that isn't going to be the most exciting of content, is it? Even though it can all be interesting, I know, watching all the small intricate details of car refurbishment. I know myself, I look at other videos, and I have done before, and sometimes to see the bits that people normally edit out can sometimes be quite nice. But that being said, I'm still not going to show you the entire video. But what you will see is if you do this yourself, you know what to do. So what I found is just run a Stanley knife, Stanley blade, straight underneath, and it will loosen it all up. And then just get a screwdriver. Being very, very careful and make sure, well, I would always use gloves because there's glass on this rubber. And have a bin handy as well. So yeah, we're about halfway through. So we're now down to the last little bit. So just need to trim this with the knife. And it should peel off. And there you go. That's almost done. So what we need to do now is go over it again with a Stanley. Now I will just say, of course, when this goes into the workshop, there's obviously a lot more work to do to prepare this. Yeah, the paint shop are obviously going to need to sand the whole thing down. But I just wanted to maybe save them a little bit, well, say maybe, definitely. I just wanted to save them another little job, because this is something that doesn't take long really in the scheme of things. So I thought if I can do this job at home, then it saves them doing it in the workshop. And let's be honest, anything that I can do here is going to save me money really, because if they get the car in the workshop and they have to spend 2 or 3 hours doing this, then they're going to bill me for it, possibly on top of the quote that they've already given me, because that might be classed as an extra, you see. So all these little jobs that you do yourself, they're always going to benefit in the long run. But not only that, I can obviously make a little video for my YouTube channel as well, and you get to see a little bit more about what it takes to convert one of these cars. Well, this is the back of the T-bar roof, and as you can see, what they've done is they've put some support bars in, which basically holds the shape of the entire T-bar roof, which is really helpful because these can sometimes flex a little bit and bend, so that when they eventually get put on the car, the actual roof could be slightly out of shape. So that was why I asked the guy that I bought the roof off if he wouldn't mind doing this for me, and he did, and that was a big help. So the only one thing left on the roof which I could possibly take off when it goes in the garage for a full respray, and obviously the roof to go on the car, is these little parts here. Now that is for that's for the glass. If you can see that there, that is where the pins go in for the glass. Now the reason why I'm probably going to leave them in when it goes into the paint shop when they do the roof is because they will serve as a little bit of a guide. So when they, in fact I've got the glass here, look. So when the pins come out of there just there, look. They will act as a guide. So when they fit the roof to my car, they'll be able to put the glass in every now and then and see where they, and they'll be able to put the glass into the roof, and when they go into the holes, when the pins go into the round holes there, that will act as a bit of a guide, so they know if everything if everything matches up 100%. So I'm going to leave them in for now, but apart from that, the inside is looking good, as I'm sure you'd agree. There was a cable that I just had to disconnect, but I've left the earth wire there because I might need that for my upper console. Again, that can be removed, but there's if they don't decide to blow over the inside of the roof as well, then that will obviously be there, otherwise they could just take it off. Not a problem. But yeah, the inside is looking pretty good. There's not really much rust at all, in all honesty. I mean, you've got to remember, this is a, I mean, what we got, this is a 91. So you're looking at like 33 years old now. So there's going to be a little bit of rust, but it isn't honestly too bad. There's a little bit there that just needs a little bit of work, but all this on the inside, it's all pretty good. Not bad at all. And this is the top of the roof. So as you can see, it's looking pretty good. Now I've just finished it. This is done now. This is now all ready to go into the paint shop and have that attached to the car. So they're going to cut the roof off around there somewhere, and then basically just replace the T-bar roof. Sounds simple, I know, but it isn't. There is a fair bit of work involved, but it's going to look nice when it's finished. I know that for a fact. It's going to look very nice, but it is just going to take a little bit of time. So now the roof is all prepared, as much as I can do here anyway. You've just seen me remove all of the glass and all of the seal around the windscreen. So that was the last little job. I've obviously given it a jet wash, haven't I? You saw me take the centerpiece out. In fact, the centerpiece is on here. Now this is probably still usable. I could still salvage this and give it a clean and give it a paint, and I could still use it. However, I'm not going to. I'm probably just going to sell this because I'm sure someone could actually still use this. I'm certainly not just going to chuck it out because they're very hard to come. They're very hard to get hold of. You can still buy them brand new, but they're very difficult to find here in the UK, brand new or used ones. So I'm sure someone would be able to make use of that. I'm just going to buy a brand new one, you know, because all the money I've spent on the car, all the bits and all the stuff I've done to it so far, it makes sense to just sometimes buy a new piece, you know, rather than try to save a little bit of money here and there like that. I mean, I don't have an endless pot of money, same as most people, but I also don't want to cut corners if I don't really need to. So I'll just buy a brand new centerpiece and then that will go on there. If you look back at one of my previous videos, I did do that with my last Kitt project. I bought a whole new centerpiece for it, glued it in place, screwed it in place, and it looked really, really nice. So it doesn't look too bad, does it? It's pretty good. So as I said, these guides here, these are for the pins for the T-bar. I'm going to leave them in place and let the body shop do what they need to do. They're obviously going to take them off when they prepare this and paint it, but when they actually put this on the car, when they put it on Kitt, I think they're going to come in very useful, because as I said earlier, they'll act as a guide and they'll be able to see roughly where things are, because if they put the glass in, then you can just make sure everything lines up okay. So there you go. That is the T-bar roof all done my end, as much as I could possibly do. I've done all the crappy work anyway. I've given it a good clean, got rid of all of the seals and the rubbers that were stuck to the edge of the T-bar, all the little bits of glass that were still in it. So that is now all ready. So what we're going to be doing next, I'm going to put this out the way somewhere, probably up against my garage door for now, out the way, cover it up. And then I've also got the glass. There, look, both pieces. In fact, they're not actually glass. These are actually, this is actually plastic, believe it or not. So what we're going to do now is, as I said, put that at the end of the garage. We're going to cover it up. I'm going to probably give the body shop those T-bar pieces so they can use them as a guide. So we're going to put that up to one side, and that is as much as we can do to do with the T-bar roof. I mean, it's taken a long time to get here, I know. I think I first spoke about doing the roof, didn't I, about 3-4 months ago. In fact, I think I mentioned doing the roof about 6 months ago, and I just could not make my mind up what I wanted to do. But I managed to get hold of this from a guy in Scotland, and I don't know, like at the time when I asked about the roof, because it was so far away, I still couldn't make my mind up if I actually wanted to buy it, because the logistics was just a bit of a nightmare. It was over 500 miles away. So the logistics was a bit of a nightmare, in all honesty. I didn't have a truck or anything, or a van to go and pick it up. I had to get it shipped here in the end. But by the time sort of like a few months passed, and I thought, you know what, I really want a T-bar. And the more I thought about it, the more I really wanted to do the conversion. So to cut a long story short, yeah, I obviously decided to get it, got it shipped back to my house, and I managed to get a fairly good deal. I think I ended up paying about £125, which is about $160 for it to be shipped, which wasn't too bad, because initially I'd been quoted about £380, which is like $480, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to spend that just on the postage, because I've obviously had to buy the roof as well. In fact, I don't think I've told you how much I paid for the roof. I paid £250 for the roof, which is what, $330? So that's what I paid for the roof. And then to actually have it changed on my car, I would say it's cost me, or it would have cost me by the time it's changed, probably about £1,300. Now that is all in with the cost of the full respray of the car. So that isn't a job that someone's going to do on its own. That is all in with everything else that is going to get done to the car when it goes into the paint shop. So they're going to do the roof and everything. But we'll talk about that in a different video. So that is it. Yeah, thanks for watching, and hope you're enjoying the videos. This is the next part of the kit build. So another little job done, and on we go. On we go to the next job in the kit build. So there's still many more to go, but we are making progress, aren't we? Things are taking shape, and that's the main thing. These things don't happen quickly, especially when you end up doing something like this and you change the entire damn roof like I have. But it'll be worth it in the end. I know it will. So make sure you're subscribed to stay up to date with all of our future projects. We've got lots more stuff coming up, obviously to do with the kit build, plus everything else we've got, the mobility scooter, quads and everything else. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.